Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing our product review for the Nutribullet Pro 900 Personal Blender. So you ready? Let's get into this. Just a quick note, our reviews and comparisons are based upon the features that we think are the most important. That might be a little bit different for you, so what we recommend doing is after watching our video, you'll pull up a few different videos from other creators just so you can get a wider range of opinions. That way you can make a much more informed buying decision, and that is the most important thing of all. This is everything they get in the box. First, you've got your 900 watt blender base. You have a couple of different cup rings here, just a regular ring and one with a handle on it. And the purpose of these is to screw them into the top of the cup. You can see up here where you got the threads, and right down here you got these little nubs sticking out right here. What you do is screw this right onto the top of the cup, and when it's on there it covers up all the threads, and that way it's a little bit easier to drink from. But ironically, it doesn't really cover up these nubs here, so if you're drinking from this, it's not so much if you're holding it by handle here, but maybe if you didn't have the handle, you're using this other ring maybe. This right here, you can probably scrape yourself on the face with that, so that's a little bit weird. I would have thought that they would have come up with a design that was a little bit wider to account for that, but they didn't, so I don't know, that's weird. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever used one of these cups and had one of these little nubs scratch you like that. I'd like to see if that's really a thing or not. This blender actually comes with two different cup sizes, so you've got a 32 ounce and you've got a 24 ounce. This one's smaller, so obviously it's the 24 ounce. You've got a travel lid that screws on the same way the cup rings do, if I can avoid cross-threading this. And that just goes on just like that. Maybe if you made a smoothie or something, you'd put this on. And the lid here has got a rubber seal on it, so this doesn't leak out when it's snapped closed. Our particular lid that came in our box doesn't really snap closed at all though. So I don't know if that's something that is just in the design of this or we just got a funky one, but you can see that this has a little ledge to grab onto right here somewhere. So since it doesn't do it, I'm assuming we got a defective lid or it's just really bad design. The last thing we have in the box is our blender base. It screws on just like everything else does, and you can see that it's pretty thick, and that's because the blade assembly is down inside of it, not sitting up on the surface. I've seen a few of these where that blade sticks out, and it makes it so this portion can be a little bit smaller and it reduces the overall size of the machine. But it also makes it a little bit harder to load your cup up, because if you got your blades sticking down into here and you overfill this, then it's impossible to close. This design, I imagine, is going to make it a little bit easier to deal with that, and probably you'll be able to fit a tiny bit more in here if you really want to. The bottom area down here is mostly metal assembly, and the actual gear here is made of hard rubber. You can see that the gears are notched right here, and you get the opposite notching down here in the blender base. I do like this design. It seems like it makes a pretty good sturdy connection. You'll see that this doesn't have any buttons on it, and that's because it is push to blend. So what you have to do to make this work is you set this into the machine like this, line up these notches, just like that, and when you push down, you basically get a pulse. Like that. You can just pulse a bunch of times, or you can let it run continuously. If you want to do that, you push this down to turn it on and then twist it clockwise. And when you do that, these notches will hold it in place so you can let go of it. Nutribullet recommends not running this for more than 1 minute at a time though. So if you're doing jobs that require long blends, you're going to have to take breaks in it to make sure this machine doesn't overheat. Anyway, here's what that blend looks like. Just like that. The blender is just over 5 inches wide, and if we're using the 24 ounce cup, it's just about 14 inches tall. If we were using this other cup, it would be about 1 inch taller than that. Keep in mind that if you're using this on your countertop below your cabinets, you have to account for the height of the blade assembly, and just for reference, that's about 2 additional inches or so. Cabinets are usually mounted about 18 inches above the countertop, so you could run into problems with this trying to take that out. Not really a big deal though, because you can always slide this out, pull that off, and push it back again. Or if you're using the shorter cup, you don't have any problems at all. One thing about this blade assembly that I like is that you can see that none of these blades are really super sharp. The way this works is it actually just kind of pulverizes stuff. You do have these two blades on the bottom, and they got some sharpness to them though, so be careful with those. But the ones up top that you're most exposed to, not too bad at all. As far as noise goes, you can see the blender averages right around 88 decibels. Ignore the 63 because that takes all these dips into account as well. And it taps out between 94 and 95 decibels right at the very beginning when you start it up, when you get the maximum power released. These come in a lot of different colors. I just happen to like the black text on white the most, but they got blues, greens, reds, oranges, all kinds of different colors. That's pretty nice because if you're the kind of person that likes to match up the colors on all your stuff in your kitchen, you're probably not going to have too hard of a problem finding one in the right color. Let's get on to some testing. For our testing, we're going to do some almond butter, some peanut butter, we're going to grind some coffee beans, we're going to attempt to make some rice flour with totally raw, hard rice. I don't expect this test to go super well. Normally, for something like this, you're going to want to soak the rice to get it a little bit softer. But we want to do this just to see how well it can do all on its own. Super powerful and expensive blenders like the Vitamixes and Blendtec can actually handle this with the dry rice a lot better. But those are also ultra high powered as well. After we do all these, we're going to make a smoothie just to see how smooth it actually comes out. For our almond butter, we're using pre-roasted almonds. Put those right in there. And we're going to add about an ounce of oil to that. We're going to let this blend one full cycle just to see what happens. Okay, first we're going to pulse this just a little bit to break up these almonds. And so far that's doing a pretty decent job. And then we're just going to let this run for about 20 seconds or so. Alright, let's see how this came out. The cups that come with this are actually pretty big, so we were only doing something like a cup and a half of almonds. If you're going to do almond butter in here, I'd recommend probably putting a little bit more than that in there just to fill this up. Because really you could have done way more in here. Pour this into a mason jar so you can see the consistency on the almond butter. So really that's pretty darn good. It's not completely smooth, but I suspect that would be a little bit smoother if we had more material in the actual cup to deal with, because really it was sort of running out of stuff to blend a lot of times. So as far as that almond butter goes, that's looking really nice. I like the consistency. Keep in mind, if you like a more chunky butter, you just don't blend it as long and you'll have bigger chunks. Alright, next up is our peanut butter. Same deal as before with the oil. And we'll pulse this a couple of times just like the last one. One thing about these, this cup is on the big side, so you're going to have to do a little bit of work to get everything to come back down onto the blades.
"2,000 years later."
Probably add a little bit more oil and that'll fix it up. Part of the reason, again, is we don't have really enough peanuts in here to really fill this up. But that would take an awful lot of peanuts. Okay, let's see how this turned out. You see that the peanut butter is a lot thicker than the almond butter. So it is a lot chunkier as well. You'll also got to remember that the brand of nuts that you use is going to matter too, and also the way they were cooked. If you're using raw nuts, those aren't going to come out the same way as a roasted nut will. Just because those roasted nuts were probably roasted with a little bit of oil. If they were dry roasted, that might be another story again, so you can see where that would start getting confusing. Again, we could have done this with a lot more nuts to fill these up, but we're kind of trying to test this in a way that is going to be more typical of how the average person is probably going to do it. I don't know that you're going to go and buy like a 5-pound bag of nuts and make peanut butter out of the entire thing at one time. So we're trying to kind of simulate more of a real world environment here with this. And you can see that this came out with roughly the same amount of nuts, just quite a bit thicker, but still, that looks really good. It really depends on how you like your peanut butter. I'm kind of more of a crunchy peanut butter guy, so I would really like it this way. If you're more of a creamy peanut butter person, this is probably going to be a little bit on the dry side. But keep in mind the amount of oil we're putting in there is going to determine a lot of that as well. So this isn't really something against the blender or anything like that. If I put a little bit more oil in here when I blended this, then it would come out a lot more smooth. Tastes fantastic though. You can see that blender cleanup is really easy also if you know how to do it. This can work for really any blender that's got halfway decent power. You just take a little bit of hot water from your tap, add a little bit of dish soap, fill this up most of the way, close it up, and then blend it. And you can see that it got all that nut butter off of the inside here. You can see that it got the blade assembly nice and clean too. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do the coffee beans. In this case, we're just gonna grind them into oblivion because we want these to be nice and fine. So we'll let this run for just a little bit. Okay, now let's check that out. Ooh, I'll tell you what, I love the smell of fresh ground coffee. It's ground up nice and even. I don't see any chunks in here at all. It's looking really, really good. Okay, now we're gonna try to make the rice flour out of the dry rice. This I don't think is going to go very well, but we're going to try it anyway. You never know, maybe we'll be surprised. If it can't do this very well, I'm not going to hold it too much against them. Like I said before, if you were going to do something like this, I would really recommend you soak the rice in water for about an hour or so, and then put it out on a towel and let it air dry, and then go ahead and do this. But we're just doing this for testing purposes, not so much because we need rice flour right now or anything like that, so we should be good. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Well, that's actually looking pretty good. You know what? This is, that's pretty good. It's very light and really fluffy. It's ground down really good. This did a good job. For our final test, we did a fruit smoothie. We used 2 cups of frozen mixed berries, a half a scoop of whey protein, and just enough water to reach the upper level of the fruit. Then we went ahead and put it on Nutribullet and locked it in and let it go for about a minute. You can see the Nutribullet's acting kind of weird. I don't know whether it's a center of gravity thing or not, but right off the beginning the thing sort of wanted to flip out a little bit. And you can see that it's shaking and wobbling all through the blend. After about a minute we went ahead and shut it off and checked the smoothie. And looking at this, you can see that it blended it really nice, but it came out really, really runny. I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit thicker, but it's not. It's almost as if we didn't use any kind of frozen fruit in here at all. It's just basically totally liquefied. You may or may not like your smoothies like that. I personally like them to be a little bit thicker, but in this case, honestly, it's a little bit disappointing. In our opinion, the Nutribullet Pro 900 is a little bit of a mixed bag. It does some things fantastic. It's kind of funny, the stuff I expected it not to be able to do, it did extremely well. But then something really basic like a smoothie just came out really weird. That's not really the end of the world because as far as smoothies go, you can just modify your recipe a little bit and make up the difference. Then all you gotta do is remember what you did to fix it and just do that every time and it'll be perfect. It's a pretty simple machine, but it doesn't have tons and tons of utility like you get with a regular blender. But for a lot of people, it could be just up your alley. And it's powerful enough to get most of the jobs you want to get done. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Nutribullet Pro 900, we do have an affiliate link for it down in the description of the video. If you purchased anything through those links, we do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, you might like our product review right here of the Ninja Foodi Power Blender Ultimate System. It's a pretty interesting blender that comes with a lot of utility you might not expect out of something like that. So until next time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.